The budget battle between the Escambia County Board of Commissioners and the Sheriff's Office could soon be over. It's been a dispute for almost a year now, but Hannah Mackenzie reports today things reached a turning point.
Today, a mediation agreement between the two was voted on, and in a 3-2 decision, the agreement passed. This is the agreement right here, and it basically lays out a plan for the Sheriff's Office budget over the next 4 years. According to this agreement, starting in April, the Sheriff's Office will receive $1 million more for fiscal year 2017-2018. That number jumps to $2.6 million for the second and third fiscal years. And for the fourth fiscal year, it increases again to $2.9 million. That's a total of $9.1 million in additional funding.
It's going to be hard for the county, but I think we can do it. And I think it really expresses it's really an indication, it's an expression of our commitment to law enforcement.
In order to get the funding, though, Commissioner Jeff Bergosh says the Sheriff's Office has to agree to put 50% of the law enforcement trust fund money towards school resource officer expenses. That's a large part of why he's supporting this agreement.
Given what's going on in the country, in light of Parkland, in light of a lot of folks wondering about where the funding is going to come from, I think it's a very appropriate usage of those funds.
We reached out to the Sheriff's Office to find out what they think. We got a statement from Chief Deputy Eric Haynes. It reads, "We are encouraged by the progress to properly compensate our deputies. Until the final agreement is signed by the BOCC, we feel it's inappropriate to discuss the details of the settlement. In order to allocate these funds, the county has to scale back on spending. For this upcoming fiscal year, the board will reduce the remaining budgets for all outside agencies by 50%, with the exception of 2 organizations, Pathways for Change and Escambia Community Clinics. But that means major cutbacks for other organizations, like the Council on Aging, who usually receive about $41,000 annually, which is then matched by the federal government."
We would do our best to look at the overall agency, the overall budgets, to see where the least impact will be, because we don't want people who are already getting services to be cut off.
Since the organization was founded in 1972, President and CEO John Clark says they've had a great partnership with the Board of County Commissioners and hopes this agreement doesn't mean they're losing future support.
The bottom line is there is going to be an effect, because you can't lose $20,000 and just shrug your shoulders and say, well, it's not going to impact anywhere, because it is.
The cutbacks will continue for fiscal years 2019 through 2021. Funding for outside agencies will not exceed $735,000, a big decrease from the traditional $1.6 million in funding.
We want to support outside agencies to the maximum extent possible, but we have to prioritize, and sometimes that's difficult.
Now, this isn't a done deal just yet. Attorneys from both the Board of County Commissioners and the Sheriff's Office have to draw up an interlocal agreement. If both parties agree on the language of that agreement, it'll be signed by Sheriff Morgan, voted on again, and then if it passes, be signed by Bergosh, finally putting the budget battle to rest, at least for the next few years. Hannah Mackenzie, Channel 3 News.
Now, this budget is all-inclusive, meaning if it passes, it will include all benefits and raises for the Sheriff's Office through fiscal year 2021.